It's Drewski McGillicuddy's Top 5 Horror Remakes
that he had to film 3 goddamn times.
Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and I already recorded this video twice. The first time, I wasn't happy with it. The second time, the son of a bitchin' camera fucking turned off by itself, and it was perfect! It couldn't have been any better than it was. But anyway, I'm Drewski McGillicuddy, and this is my 5 favorite remakes or some shit, alright? Read the fucking title card, alright? Just watch the goddamn video. Alright, so we're gonna start off by telling you people that the same thing I told you the last 2 times. We're disqualifying John Carpenter's The Thing and David Cronenberg's The Fly. Sarah's over there trying to sleep, but I'm yelling anyway. Because it was funny in the other video. I kept looking over at her and asking her questions. And she wouldn't answer me because she's asleep. And as you can see, she's a very deep sleeper. Anyway, so we're not including The Fly or The Thing because reasons. So number 5, we're going to start you off with So number 5, we're going to start you off with 2010's I Spit on Your Grave. Now, I looked up this director, and I can't remember his name, but I did notice he's directed a lot of horrible, horrible garbage shit that I probably would never watch. But for some reason, he nailed this. He nailed this movie. Now, this movie's not for everybody, all right? Especially if rape's not your thing. Not that rape's my thing, but you know, I do like revenge flicks. There is a graphic rape scene in this and the original, and I think they might have went a little too far in the remake. But that's cool because they go a little too far with the revenge kills, and that makes up for it because this has some shit that happens to these dudes that had raped this girl that you ain't even want to see, but you're gonna watch anyway because it's kind of hard to look away. But the main bad guy in this movie gets it so bad. Like, he gets it so fucking bad. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know, let me know in the comments. But this is one of those movies, like a lot of the movies on this, except for, let's see, I'm going to count this time. Okay. All of the movies on this list could be considered better than the original, which might sound like blasphemy, but just, you know, that's just my opinion, I guess. But anyway, so the original I Spit on Your Grave was made in 1978 and was a bit of a grindhouse movie. But we'll talk more about that one when I've been thinking about doing a series since Andy over at Stitched Together Productions, the maniacal cinephile, has disappeared from the face of the earth, and I miss his boots to reboots. So I want to do something like that. Plus, I'm crazy. I can do it. Anyway, so we're going to move along to the next movie on the list from 2013, and that's Fred Alvarez's Evil Dead remake. Now, Fred Alvarez is a motherfucker to watch out for, okay? Watch out for this guy. He's gonna be big. Because Don't Breathe, aside from one little aspect that was like, really? Come on now. That movie was flawless. A lot like the Evil Dead remake was flawless. All the way up until that, you know, lackluster climax that just left me sitting there like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, you build this up and this is what we get? You give us one of the best second acts in horror movie history, and then you blew your load a little too early. But that doesn't negate the fact that this movie is possibly better than the original, because Sam Raimi's 1981 original is slightly boring. And with the fact that they were trying to go for an R rating and not an NC-17 rating and all that other bullshit, and they had to use that Nickelodeon gack and seafoam as blood and gore, that kind of takes away from it a little bit for me. But I loved this movie when I was a kid. I still got several copies. I got all the copies on DVD. I got the DVDs, I got the Blu-rays, probably got the VHS, I don't know. But there's scenes in the remake that literally, I don't care how tough or badass you think you are, you be watching this shit like this. Like, when that needle goes in dude's eye, you either looked away or you squirmed like a bitch. Don't lie. As a matter of fact, comment below. Don't be an asshole. Leave a comment. Alright. So yeah, there you go. Maybe one of these days we'll sit down, we'll watch it, we'll talk about it in depth. Like I said, I might do that series. Except I'm not going to call it Boots to Reboots. We'll come up with something clever. Anyway, number 3 is Zack Snyder's 2004 Dawn of the Dead. Now, this is the only movie on the list I consider not to be better than the original. And I'm not saying all these movies are far superior to the original. I'm just saying they took what the original laid out and expanded upon it. This just took what the original laid out and made a movie. Other than that, like, the characters are not the same at all. Of course, I guess the characters aren't the same in the... Shut up. Don't. Just sit there and be quiet. Alright. The Dawn of the Dead remake, I mean, it surprised me because by this time, I had became the diehard fan of Dawn of the Dead that I am now. And I was skeptical, but the trailer intrigued me. The trailer looked badass. But yeah, if the characters would have been as likable and as memorable as they were in the original, I might have a different tune. But I do like the fast-moving zombies, and I'd like to think that the only reason they were fast-moving is because they were fresh, and the more this went along, but then again, that's not true, because at the end, the hordes are running like crazy. But yeah, that's how it should have happened, but that's just scientifical logic or whatever, I guess. But then again, if it was scientifical, there wouldn't be zombies. But then again, who knows? We don't know half the things that are in this world or what's going to happen. But yeah, this movie kicks ass. I mean, this is a fun-ass, action-packed, beautiful-looking zombie movie. I've always liked Zack Snyder's cinematography. Like Man of Steel, his cinematography is top-notch. 300, some of the best cinematography, especially for something that was shot entirely on a green screen. Now, I'm sure Man of Steel was probably shot mainly on a green screen, but a lot of people hate that movie, and I don't understand it. I need to watch Batman v Superman again, but I don't know. But Zack Snyder nailed Dawn of the Dead. Now, he didn't surpass it just because, probably nostalgic purposes, I don't know. Because, you know, Wolfman over at Wolfman's Got Nards, he said he prefers the remake, which that's just crazy talk. Because Mekhi Phifer and that baby, I'm going to take that baby and I'm putting in a goddamn blender! Maybe she still didn't wake up. Maybe she's dead. Anyway, number 2 is another George Romero classic, remade in 2010. And that's The Crazies. And now the original came out in 1973, and you could see the makings of Dawn of the Dead here. How he took something that could have worked with Night of the Living Dead, but he made it different, yet similar, but on a higher scale, on a bigger scope. Because, yeah, I mean, it's very similar, like people going crazy and killing people, instead of people dying and coming back to life and killing people. That's the main difference with The Crazies. But the remake, it took everything that the original laid out, and just like the first movie on this list, it made the makeup better, it upped the action, the acting's better. I mean, I can't remember if it's Timothy Olyphant or Josh Duhamel, because both those dudes look exactly the same, and I can't tell which one's which. But they nailed it as the sheriff, whichever one it was. I could have looked it up, but that would have been work. It's my day off, so I didn't feel like doing any work. But yeah, if you're one of those people that haven't seen the remake of The Crazies, or even the original, it's like, those are some of the best horror movies ever made, so you might as well go watch them. I mean, I don't know how you're going to find the crazies. It might be on streaming, but then again, it might not. You might have to pay out the ass for it like I did. But that was years ago, so maybe it went down. But then again, maybe it went up. But yeah, I love the makeup effects in this movie and just the way they portrayed the actual crazies. Because in the first one, it was like, oh, they're just a little goofy, and then they all of a sudden kill you. This one, their eyes change, they get like veiny, and they're fucking scary looking. Like they weren't really scary looking in the original. So, alright, so I'm going to hurry this up because I've already done this 3 times. And it's not going to be as good as it was. Hopefully you like what you get. But if not, deal with it. Number 1! That's going to be 2006's The Hills Have Eyes from Alexandre Aja. Now, he's a hit-or-miss guy. He directed a great movie with a stupid-ass twist, High Tension. And he also directed Mirrors, which I thought was garbage, but maybe I need to watch it again. I don't know. It did have one really cool scene. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that, okay? We're here to talk about The Hills Have Eyes. And goddamn, if this movie this might be on my top 10 best horror movies of all time list. That's how much better than the original is. Now, the original is a great movie. Wes Craven's a great director. But goddamn it, they took this and put it on steroids. Like, the mutants in this movie are badass. The music in this movie's badass. The cinematography's badass. It's just everything about this movie. I mean, let's sit here. Is there anything wrong with this movie? What is no for 300? Or no, that doesn't work. But yeah, no. Hell no. Hell no. Now the sequel, maybe there's some stuff wrong with it. I just picked that up on Blu-ray not too long ago. So maybe one of these days I'll sit down and we'll watch it. I mean, there's so many movies, not enough time. But anyway, The Hills Have Eyes, 2006. Have you seen it? I mean, did it affect you like it affected me? Like, this movie is also, like I Spit on Your Grave, has one of the most... And luckily they don't show a lot of it. They just show banging on the window and the crying and the screaming, because I was still watching it like this, like, why? Why? And then the scene after that... I mean, this movie is brutal. It's brutal as hell. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Unless you're, like, easily offended or put off by disturbing violence and stuff like that. Because it's got some disturbing violence. I mean, it's no French movie. I mean, shit. Have you seen Frontiers? That's some stuff that I can't recommend if you don't like disturbing violence. That makes Hostel look like... House Party 3. But anyway, I hope you liked the video. I hope this one is better than the first one that I didn't like. I know it's not going to be as good as the fucking second one I did, but what can I do? What can I do? Like and subscribe if you don't mind. Give it a thumbs up. Or thumbs it down if you're an asshole. I don't care, okay? I don't do this for you. I do it because I got nothing better to do. And, I like to watch myself on TV.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, 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 no. Hell no, no. To the no, no.